Welcome back to Dream of Mirror Online. Last time we entered Placid Plain and I finished up Raymond's quest but was not quite able to finish up the quests for the Assault Officer. As promised, in between I did craft the new set of armor for Cumlin and you can see she looks a lot better. Well, let's jump in. Mian Mian is going to be very disappointed to not be the one played with, but it's fine, she'll live. Here we are. One thing I did want to show you is that, please load. There is the 300% experience and drop rate bonus back on. And where am I? Oh yes, I'm outside of Barrow Family Crypt. I did a little experiment. There really aren't a lot of regular quests to do there, so I didn't miss out on anything, but I did want to see how close I was to being able to fight off the zombies for the quest, and I have to say, not quite yet. I can beat them, of course, but I want to be able to beat them very quickly because it's an escort mission, and if you don't do it quickly enough, they will murder the person, the poo-poo you're escorting. I'll show you the quest next episode. I have 2 goals for this episode, I believe. Firstly, I want to do the Fencer Life quest for level 20. I know I'm a little high level for it, but you do need to fight a group of enemies for it, so I want to make sure that I can handle it. I definitely wanted the better armor too. And I also want to get those extra skill points from the Fencer Spring. So, one thing I did in between episodes that I did want to talk about first is I did do a bunch of alchemy in order to get my level up so that I could make my armor. And one thing I have discovered is that it is incredibly good to practice your alchemy on your level 18 weapons. They only require level 8 alchemy, so you can make them, but because they're level 8 alchemy, they do give more experience, and they only use red powder and an item. You don't also need the blue powder, so it's just a little bit simpler to make them. Furthermore, weapons have extremely variable stats when you make them, so you could make a whole stack of them for the alchemy experience and then keep the one which has the best bonuses. So you can see here I have the level 18 saber, and it has plus 13 physical attack, plus 4 magic attack, which is, I've got it equipped and I'm trying to get the experience up so I can actually level it up to level 23. And you can see that this one only has plus 2 magic attack, and that's already been upgraded once, and plus 18 physical attack. So this one is already almost better than that as far as the bonus. So once it's been leveled up once, it's going to be significantly better than this one. So I did that, and I also made quite a bunch of simple syringes, which is the level 18 syringe, and I kept the one which had the best magic attack bonus, because that's actually useful to you as a magic user. But there we are. In order to do, there we are, that was really good experience, and I definitely think that's probably the best way to do it. Practice on weapons, because you're going to be able to pick and choose then between the best bonuses on your weapon stats. However, for the time being, I want to go to Swan Lake Basin. I do have the first life quest. No, that's Swordsman? Is that Blade Master? I'm confused. Anyway, Fencer's life quest. Lucas of Swan Lake Basin is seeking help from fencers of level 20 or above. He is at the farm, so I will go meet him there and see you in a moment. Okay, at the farm you can see that Lucas is right over here. And also, hello cow. And chickens. In fact, it's easy to remember that he is behind the little family of chooks who are sitting here. Very easy to remember that. Because as I said, I have trouble remembering where everyone is in the game when I first started playing. Alright, here we are. Hello, my name is Lucas, a rich merchant based in this area. I'm looking for help from good fencers. As you have reached level 27 as a fencer, I believe you are a formidable fighter. Would you like to help this old man? Yes, I'm willing to help. It's like this. I have a lovely daughter who was abducted a while ago and has been missing ever since. Then I received a blackmail letter demanding me to give up all my land in exchange for my daughter. Then we lost contact after starting negotiations. I'm really worried about her safety, so I'm begging you to help me find my daughter. No problem, but Mr. Lucas, why do you insist on getting help from a fencer? To tell you the truth, when I was young, I was a fencer too, but I suffered internal injuries whilst training, so I can't fence anymore. Still, I believe that only those trained in the art of fencing can help. Oh, as a fellow fencer, I am most happy to oblige. Will you have any information regarding the whereabouts of your daughter? In the letter, the abductor claims to be from Grizzly Garrison, but after thorough investigation, the real culprits turned out to be some local beggars. Oh no, I lost the text. I am so sorry, it moved so fast. I wasn't clicking the mouse. If there are any clues, come back and tell me. This is Shayna's bracelet. I believe that she'll... Oh, so your daughter's name is... How do you pronounce that? Okay, I shall take my leave now, Mr. Lucas. Please wait for my good news. My goodness, that text moves so fast. How was I supposed to be able to read it all? Goodness, that's up too fast. I'm so sorry that I didn't read it well. But here we are, his daughter has been abducted and we need to find her. So the group of beggars are actually not in Swan Lake Basin at all anymore. They are over in the mortuary area in Eversun North. I wonder if he says anything else now. Please help me find my daughter. That's all. So one thing I kind of have a suspicion about when he talks about how he suffered internal injuries and can no longer fence is basically this job really seems to be the sword cultivator job, which you see a lot in Shensha. And one thing that can happen a lot is basically, it's called a chi deviation, where you circulate energy improperly along your meridians, which were supposedly these like extra lines, kind of like veins, which your energy, your internal energies, your chi would circulate through. And if you do that, if you improperly cultivate, you can actually cause permanent damage. So it's possible that's kind of what they're getting at, that he cultivated improperly and now he actually can't cultivate anymore and has become a civilian. It actually varies a lot depending on story, whether it's permanent or not. It's really interesting. In higher fantasy stories in particular, where you have golden cores, what you'll see is that characters can have their golden cores destroyed, either by themselves or by others. And in some stories, it is impossible to ever cultivate a new core. Essentially, the lower dantian, where the golden core is located, is damaged by the destruction of the core, and so it's impossible to form a new one. It's not just that it's too much effort or takes too much time, it's literally impossible. This is the case in the novel Modal Zushu, where the main character actually does lose his core. I won't give you all the details, but it's fairly easy to guess as you read the story in the past timeline that he lost his core. So he lost his core in his first life and was unable to ever form a new one. That was just set, that's the rule. Once you lose your core, you can never form a new one. And then there are other stories where this is not the case. For example, in Thousand Autumns, which is actually going to be translated into English very soon. I believe it's coming out in, I think it's January. The first volume is coming out January 2023, or maybe February. So in that novel, the main character actually has to self-destruct his own core in order to save his own life at one point. He's dealing with a cultivator who's stronger than him and who he is in grave danger from, and he actually self-destructs his own core as a sort of defense mechanism in order to be able to escape from him. And he is able to cultivate a new core. It's certainly a huge accomplishment, but it's something that is possible. Every story individually will sort of indicate to you whether it's possible or not. But it's just an interesting thing. Different stories have different takes on it. And so I think that's kind of what they're getting at. It's something like that. Honestly, Domo is really interesting in how it's sort of mixed, in that there's obviously very high fantasy elements. I mean, you've transmigrated, there are the Chasm Kings who are very magical. There's a lot of like higher fantasy stuff, obviously all of Yao Guai and such, but then on the other hand, you also do have some more like low fantasy martial arts stuff and stuff like that. They don't really talk about golden cores, which in some respects makes sense. It's a video game. Giving you that sort of detail of do you have a golden core or not sounds kind of fussy, but it's just something I found interesting. You can definitely see how that looks to be that sort of trope going on here. But anyway, I'm being a huge nerd. At this point, the guys are going to be around about here, so I'm just going to buff myself a little bit first. Let's put on regeneration for the fight. I'm sorry I'm going to be really sparkly during the fight then. I think Razzle Dazzle might overpower that. Here we are. Did the old man, Lucas... Oh, it's so fast. These beggars look like the ones who abducted Xena. I'll go and find out. We have someone tough to back us up. Anyway, we're not weaklings either. Hey, you guys, you're the gang who kidnapped Xena. Who do you think you are? How dare you talk to me like that? I don't care who you are. If you're a kidnapper, then I suggest you let Xena go right now. Or would you rather feel the edge of my blade? I've been in lots of big fights. I'll shut you up for good. Okay, here we are. We can actually run around a little bit if they're too tough for us. You see that the time limit for the plot is 30 minutes. There's going to be an area you can't go out of for the fight, but you do have that option of doing hit and run tactics if you're finding you struggle fighting them. Here we are. Let's try this though. I have area of effect moves. Also, I should have used toughen magic. Whoops. Okay, here we are. I'm gonna have to also do hand to hand since I only have 2 area of effect moves, but this is turning out just fine. They don't make these too difficult usually. They do want you to be able to actually beat it. I mean, it's the level 20 Fencer Life quest. I probably should have done this earlier. I probably could have handled it sooner. In fact, I could have done 1-1-1 instead of trying to use the area of effect, but it's fine. They were total pushovers. Own up. Where did you hide Xena? Oh, Heroine, please calm down. We don't have her with us. Then where is she? Tell me now. We can't. Tell him. If you don't, we're all gonna die here today. Okay, I'll tell you. Actually, we don't know who that person is. Please calm down, Heroine. Let us finish. Actually, it wasn't our idea to abduct Gina. A mysterious swordsman asked us to do it. He took the girl away, too. He gave us some money and wanted us to abduct Xena, as well as give a letter to Mr. Lucas. When Mr. Lucas brings the goods, he'll come around and give us more money. Who is this mysterious swordsman? Where is he? What does he want? We really don't know. We're just doing what we're told. That swordsman is really creepy, though. Oh yes, he's a swordsman, all right. But when I first saw him, I thought he was a vampire lord. He seems to be able to control the dead. That's really scary. This is the second letter he gave us. Here you go. Please spare us, Heroine. Looks like I'd better go back and talk to Mr. Lucas. Out of my sight. I'll let you live this time. Thank you, Heroine. So, that is interesting. I have not done the later Fencer Life quest, so I actually don't know what to expect from it. I'm really curious. I wonder if they have anything more to say. No. Oh, here we are. I won't do it again. Well, it seems he regrets his crimes. So, the part about controlling corpses really caught my interest. I actually wonder... Well, clearly he's a necromancer. We may find him in the deeper mortuary over Farrell Family Crypt later on in a different part of the life quest, like level 30. I have a little pet theory, and I could be totally wrong, and if I am, we'll just find out, because I have not done the later quests. I wonder if Sheena and this dark cultivator are actually eloping or something, and this is some sort of plot, because they know her father won't want them to get married. It's possible. Controlling the dead is typically considered dark cultivation. It's totally possible that her father disapproves. Look, I'm just saying it was a very common tactic in ancient China to arrange to compromise a young lady's honor so that the family have no choice but to allow her young suitor to marry her when they think he's not good enough for her, because after that, who else is going to marry her, right? Especially if you make it public. That's actually the plot to, well, part of the plot to the play and opera, oh my gosh, my brain has turned into a sin. The Romance of a Western Chamber. There we are. For a second I was thinking about a different one and I was like, no, not that one, not that one. The Jinping Bay is erotica. That's not what we're talking about. So that is actually part of the plot in that story. I feel like I might have talked about this in a different episode. I did. So yes, that is absolutely a thing. So that's why I'm sort of thinking, maybe. Also, I ship it. I haven't seen either of them yet, but I just think that would be a fun storyline. But we will have to see. I'm still sparkly. Well, you know what? It makes for a very pretty flight. I always love just sitting here and watching as my character flies and seeing everything in the distance. Slowly getting closer and closer, taking shape, the clouds swirling, the looming mountains starting to turn from silhouettes into very clear visuals. It's beautiful. And we're nearly to the farm, so so there's no need for me to cut this out, I guess. Oh, this is kind of interesting, just thinking as I let the music play. I actually have uploaded now the first episode of the series. Yes, I am extremely far ahead in recording, I know. I've just been so excited to play. And I actually got a content ID strike on my first episode from Softstar for the music, because I guess I have the music loud. I have made the music slightly quieter. I made very subtle tweaks over the episodes to try to get the right balance. I already spent a whole day before I ever started recording trying to get the volume right for my voice and the music, and I still wasn't 100% happy with it, so I've been doing very subtle tweaks. I hope they're never so obnoxious that you just go, what are you doing? This one was so quiet and this one is so loud, etc. But I'm trying. And it doesn't matter because, I mean, you can see my subscriber count. I'm not going to monetize the video anyway, and it's not like they're asking me to take it down. They let you use the content, but it was funny that happened immediately. Okay, let's talk to Lucas. Mr. Lucas, I think someone else abducted your daughter. From what you've told me, there must be someone powerful behind all this. It's a shame I can't tell you the identity of the mysterious swordsman. I believe that you did your best. It probably isn't someone you could handle anyway. We'll talk again after I have investigated more thoroughly. In the meantime, please train hard and come to me again when the time is right. To thank you for finding this clue, please accept this recipe from me as a gift. I won't take no for an answer. And so we get the Fencer's Spring and the Breeze Blade recipe. You can see I have a Steel Saber. The Breeze Blade is the one above, and I also have the Fencer's Spring, which will give me 5 extra skill points. I'm curious what the stats on the Breeze Blade are. It might be worth just upgrading to that, although I did get this other Steel Saber I made. Let's take a look at that. Here's the Breeze Blade. You can see the base physical attack is 39, magic attack is 20, and it has a wood element. Wow, it might be worth it. The base magic attack is much better, and we do a lot of magic. I need red powder, blue powder, and beast fan. I might want to do that. And now you can also see I have more skill points. Now I have 6. So let's see what I can do here. Do I have any more of these? I could get another on Crushing Landslide. I do want more area of effect attacks. And let's see, Burning Backdraft, Looming Mountain, Rolling Thunder, Raging Torrent, and Boundless Falling Leaves. Now the thing is, if I want to do the pet quest, I really need better... I need anything besides Boundless Falling Leaves, to be blunt, but these are not quite high enough level. I could do Raging Torrent, and then level that up next episode, next level up. So here Raging Torrent is now level 5, and it will be... Oh, whoops. Here, Raging Torrent goes here. Now it's level 5. Is this locked? This isn't locked. I don't know why that's not working. Come on, gotta replace it. I'll try it next time. Maybe I just am in the wrong little area. Okay, so that was the life quest. And you can see they're not super hard typically. I honestly was definitely over-prepared for that. I've been over-preparing a lot for some of these quests. I may have, in my first playthrough as Mian Mian, kind of jumped into things too soon, and so now I'm over-preparing, and that's perhaps not ideal. So I'm going to actually make the Breeze Blade in between recording, and the other thing I'm going to do in between, like when I go to the next area, I'll just make the Breeze Blade and see about using that instead of this. Although, you know, this is actually 16 magic attack. Just thinking about that. It's good, but the end result is that I'm sure the Breeze Blade is going to be even better. So I'm probably just going to go get the stuff I need to make that. I have the items, except for Beast Fang, in my bank. So I'll do that, and then I will show you the new blade and meet you in Placid Plain to try out fighting those bonkers Bow Wows. Because what I think I can do is show off how I like to hug the edge of an area where they spawn and manage to avoid aggro that way. I can probably only fight a couple of them at a time, but that will be okay. I'll make it work. So for the time being, I'm going to go make the Breeze Blade, and I'll meet you in Placid Plain. Alright, so here we are. I have, with Dread, just entered the beginning of the area where we should start seeing the bonkers Bow Wow. We're going to have to see how this goes. I have crafted the Breeze Blade. As you can see, it has much better magic attack, 20 with a bonus of 4. And the physical attack currently is only 49, which is not as good as the level 23 Steel Saber, but I'm going to try to get both of these enough experience to level them up. One thing I really do want to do is keep a second blade now, because the Breeze Blade with wood attack is not going to be useful against metal enemies. It'll do minuscule amounts of damage. So that is a slight issue you do have when you're using the wrong weapon element against an enemy. It does almost no damage. So this is going to be an interesting one. First, I do have regeneration, and I can put that on myself. Razzle Dazzle won't do much because if I'm going to be dealing with a mob, but we'll see how it goes, and we'll strengthen my magic attack. At this point, what I'm probably going to want to do is, as said, hug the area where they come in, and let's see. I can reduce its magical defense with a spell, and that will also lure it towards me because it knows I've cast something and it has a decent range. So that will work nicely. They are non-elemental, so it doesn't really matter what spell I use against them. I can just cycle through them. So this is pretty much what I'm going to be doing. Fortunately, he doesn't want me to be the boss, so I can stay near the edge of where they spawn in, and I won't be dealing with a lot of aggro from them because I don't know how I'll deal with aggro. I'm just looking at my agility. I mean, it's 29, it's pretty good. My evasion is 34. Yeah, it's nowhere near as good as, say, a thief or a dancer. They are going to have much higher agility at this level. So yeah, that's obviously something you cannot just depend on. Now, I could try just dealing with these three and see how that goes. I do not have high hopes, but we could see how much damage I can do to them and how much of their attacks I can miss. You can see I'm doing decent damage. If I had all 5, maybe that would work. And they are missing me a decent amount, so it might be possible. Essentially, I have a feeling that whatever job I get to the absolute highest levels is going to be dependent on what can take aggro the best, or deal with aggro the best, because you're going to be dealing with mobs in higher level areas. That's just how the game kind of works. And as a result, I do want a job which can actually handle mobs. Of course, I only have 2 abilities, so of course it's going to take me time to cycle through them, and for the cooldown to work, whereas if I have all 5 and potentially something subbed in from another job, that may be a lot more feasible. But as you can see, so far this is going okay, and of course I'm using the weaker sword in order to level it up, so I don't currently have the added attack from it by having it leveled up, so there's that too. But yeah, it may be that long term, if you build Fencer well, it may be feasible to take mobs with it. Small mobs, I wouldn't be sitting around trying to do a giant mob with it, but maybe small ones. But yes, hugging the area like that so that you don't deal with a lot of aggro is absolutely a tactic that I would encourage. And here we are, they are very aggressively aggro. You don't even have to walk in front of them. If you're anywhere near them, they will just completely go wild on you. But yeah, I think that once I have more of these attacks unlocked, I probably can. I mean, I'm doing pretty well right now already, decent damage. So yeah, I think with more, and they're not hitting me a lot. They're also not doing as much damage as I would think, but look, miss. The agility is still making a huge difference. So yeah, I definitely recommend an agility build. I think that in order to play solo, you need an agility build, really high agility, and you also need a good pool of area of effect moves. Fencer has 5 of them, so that's great. One of the biggest issues I have found with martial artists, which I got to a pretty high level over as Mian Mian, was that I didn't have a high agility build. So there was just, I didn't have a lot of area of effect moves. Martial artist only has 3 area of effect moves, and it wasn't enough. I could handle a mob. It took them a long time to work down my health, but I couldn't kill the mob, so eventually they did start whittling me down, and I couldn't kill them quickly enough. So that became a problem in the high level areas where you did in fact have a lot of aggro enemies. Like these, they're really aggressive, they just jump on you. Oh dear, one little thing that's frustrating is that Premier Poo Poo walking in. I don't want to deal with you as well. I only want to be dealing with these guys. At least he doesn't aggro on me. But yeah, I'm honestly handling this okay. So I was a little overly concerned about them. I've built my Fencer pretty well, and you can see that it's really paying off. I can deal with this. We don't need that, we need to pick up all the items. There is, as I've said, a 300% experience rate and drop rate bonus going on at the moment. I'm honestly not sure if this is something that's very regular or if it's something they added for the holiday season. I really can't say. I mean, I think it would be a very nice thing for them to just include. Sorry for swiveling the camera like that. I was wondering if no one was over there. I think it would be a nice thing to just keep on at this stage of the game. Because it's a small server, people are largely playing alone and can't always find parties, so it is nice to just give an experience bonus since you're playing solo a lot. Parties can obviously kill enemies a lot faster than single players, so there you are. It's a way of compensating for it. I don't know that that's their intention, but that would be very nice. Okay, so I'm actually doing pretty well. We're 12 out of 70. I know that's not a lot, but it's not bad. This is going very smoothly, and by staying in this area, I never have too many of them aggroing on me at once. They're only 3 in this part of the map, this little clearing here. So this is a very good strategy if you can use it. It can become harder in some areas where you do have a lot of monsters all in a big clump that you have to run past, usually in dungeons where you have lots of narrow corridors and small rooms. That's going to be a problem. But here, this is working out very nicely. Here we are. There are 2 of them. Okay, so I have finished the first quest, the Lost Assault quest, and the Breeze Blade now is ready for an upgrade. And here I've got the Steel Saber back on, which also needs to be leveled up for an upgrade. But I was kind of curious about whether I could actually hug this area and avoid the monsters, but you can see the area boss, one of them is over there. And then here are these guys. So you would have to still be able to deal with a few of these at a time in order to sneak your way through. I'm curious if I can still do that and just get the recipes that I need, because I think I'm only missing 2. So we could try that quickly. By and large, I'm pretty much done here though. Oh, I don't need the whipped cream. I actually decided I'm probably not going to do any more of the Christmas missions as Comlin, just because, you know, I like my armor. I don't really need my little reindeer antlers. Very cute, but it's fine. But I just want to kind of experiment with this a little bit, because I haven't been to this area of Placid Plain in a long time. Oh, new one spawned in, so that's going to be an issue. So yeah, you would have to kind of fight your way through here. Unless you get to a higher level where they don't aggro, of course, then that would be a different question. Okay, one of them is dead, so now we can do this. But it might be possible. You know, I'm not sure if they just have low attack stat, or if I actually just have good defense with this armor, because they're really not hitting me hard, even when they do hit me. Okay, I'm just experimenting, as said. If you fly to this area, there are no landing pads down here, I believe, so I can't see any, so I don't think you could actually land and go get the recipes that way. You do have to walk, which is unfortunate. But yeah, absolutely, this is something that you can do. This is not such a densely packed area that it's impossible, unless you're a really squishy job, maybe. But by and large, it seems like it is possible for a single player to sneak through here without having to deal with too much aggro, because the enemies aren't too densely packed. And there's a lot of wide open spaces where you can kind of try to walk around to avoid them. That's very good. I don't have the map up where the recipe is, unfortunately. I have completely forgotten. I think it's... I know there's one somewhere around here. But yeah, we're doing pretty well. This is going well. I'm getting a lot of item drops. That's nice. But yeah, this is actually going well. It is totally feasible to just walk carefully and only deal with a few at a time. This isn't always the case. There are areas, unfortunately, where the enemies which go aggro are very heavily packed together and you cannot avoid them like this. But this is nice. This is actually totally feasible. In fact, I almost wonder if I could take the area boss. Possibly. Though I'd be leery if I was dealing with a lot of aggro at the same time. Just trying to find that pot, and I haven't seen it yet. Anyway, I might still want to leave here and do this another time. In fact, if I'm a higher level, I may not even incur aggro, so that would be nice. Why did I use Magic Barrier by accident? It's not going to help. They don't have magic attacks. But yeah, this is pretty feasible. this is working out nicely. I know I'm just showing you a bit more of it than I need to, but I just really wanted to show that this is actually pretty feasible. If you're careful, you can actually avoid a decent chunk of their aggro. Not all of it, but you can definitely only deal with a couple at a time instead of the entire gang of them. Time to turn in the final assault quest, I think. I hope he doesn't have any more for me. Here, number 4. And yes, we're done. Up next, Giant Wood Forest asks for assistance. That is the next area over, but I'm not going to be doing that yet. So we got the campaign orders, which from what I've heard aren't actually useful. And I'm just going to toss them. Again, if I'm wrong about that, I'm sorry, but I looked it up and it said that they never got implemented, so they're kind of a useless item. Whoops. So there's no need for me to spend inventory space on that. If I'm wrong again, I apologize. And let's see, we do need to level up the Steel Saber a bit, and I'm going to check what I need to level up the Breeze Blade. I'm now already halfway to level 28. I'm kind of tempted to just go to level 29 and be able to get one more area of effect move, but that's crafting. I need weapon upgrade. So here's the Breeze Blade. I'm going to need copper bars and red silk thread, so I'll have to go back to Eversun to get that. And for the time being, one thing I might do... Oh, I'm kind of curious. I mean, these guys are level 22. They're not going to give great experience, but I mean, I just need experience with a weapon. Do I want to see how well I can actually handle a few of these guys? They're doing a lot more damage. You know what? I think the Bow Wow Bums just have, the Bonkers Bow Wow Bums just have bad attack. But I'm going to see how I deal with like a really small little mob of these guys. Here, let's boost my magic attack, and let's do this. I don't have any metal, unfortunately, yet. I haven't unlocked that at all. Was focusing on fire. Oh yeah, these are doing so much more damage. So I'm guessing the Bonkers Bow Wow Bums do in fact have much worse attack stat. That's interesting. They have very low attack stat. So even though they aggro, you can handle them as a single person, whereas this was definitely doing a lot more damage to me. I think that I would need to be able to actually boost my own evasion and also have regeneration on. But I would probably have to buff myself to be able to take them. They're pretty hard hitters. Interesting. It's just interesting to see. Of course, I also could do with more attacks, which are area of effect. But yeah, you can see they're doing a lot more damage when they hit me. So that's a thing which has to be kept in mind. Now, regeneration does seem to be helping. It's possible that like a high level of regeneration in particular would do it. I only got Doctor to what, like level 16? So my regen is not doing a lot yet. 8 increments of 8. You can get it up much higher than that. So that may also be a factor. Because at the moment, I mean, they're a mob much lower level than me and I can't take them very easily. I can, but it's definitely doing me a lot of damage. So that's definitely something to consider. Oh. He was poking his staff at me, spear at me. That was a little bit intimidating at first. Okay, so I'm going to get the experience I need on this saber to level it up as well, and I will then go to Eversun and upgrade both of them. We're getting pretty close. I only need 40k more experience, and it's going quickly, so I will do that off screen. Okay, so I've got the stuff I need to upgrade the swords. We have the level 18 Steel Saber, which has the higher magic bonus, and I want to see now how much more we get. So 46 plus 13, 11 plus 4. Upgrade it. Let's see what we get out of that. Okay, let's take a look at its stats now. Still in the little upgrade window. Here we are. So now 66 plus 18 and the magic is 16 plus 1. It looks like we lost some of the extra bonus. That's a shame. Huh. That really is a shame. Now it's not that different to the other one. We just completely lost the bonus on it. In fact, now the other one is better. That's interesting. Now we know. Like, that's really a shame. But this one here, the other one, is already ready to be upgraded again. So I could just do that. That's a real shame that you just lose that extra bonus. Because I got a really good bonus for the original upgrade. The magic bonus was very good. but I'm going to need this blade until I can get something else, like maybe if there's a level 20 free, like base level blade, because the breeze blade is wood and it won't do well against the metal zombies. So, okay, what do I need for this? I need sugar, and I did not pick that up, so I'm going to go buy it. Well, that's a shame. I thought that the bonuses you get would keep carrying through as you upgrade it, but it seems that's not the case. Huh. Well, now we know. That really is a shame, but I mean, what are you going to do? There we are. Okay, here we are. I need to get a sugar. I'm too lazy to go find it from the monsters now, so I'll just buy one. And we can get the final level 28 breeze blade, which will still be useful for a time until steel saber. No. Okay, so this is the one which can be upgraded one more time. This one obviously does not have that experience. I'm really disappointed that I lost that magic bonus on it. But here we are. We can upgrade this to level 28, and we'll see what its stats are now. I do like this one. It's a very pretty blade. Okay, so now the stats on it are 93 plus 9, and magic is 21 plus 1. So you can see now we're basically, the physical attack is much better. My goodness, it's over 100. And the magic attack is not bad either. Although I believe that the breeze blade will once again have a better magic attack once it's upgraded. It just has a better base magic stat, so even before upgrades, it's equal as far as magic goes. And I do need magic attack. You use that a lot as a fencer. As I said, it's a mixed attacker kind of job. Well, okay, now let's see what its stats are. It now has 57 plus 8, so the physical attack is not as good, but the magic attack is much better. It's now 30 versus 22. And the wood attack now is 20 instead of 10, the base level. So yeah, that's interesting. It looks like one of them is better at physical, one of them is better at magic. Good to know, and I just don't need this sword anymore, I guess, because what's the point? This one's better. Well, there we are. Next time we're going to go explore the Farrell family crypt and attempt the pet quest. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do it at this level successfully. It will just be an attempt. We'll see how it goes, and I can sort of figure out from there if I do need to level up my skills more or if it's good where it is. But that's something to look forward to. And one thing I haven't mentioned, I think I have mentioned this. When I get the pet, at that stage, I'm going to be switching to another job, which is at level 10, the musician, because the musician can heal the pet and boost the pet. So it'll be a great time to talk about being a musician. But the next episode is just going to be Farrell Family Crypt and Pet Quest. Wish me luck. It's not the easiest quest ever, although once you have strategy, you can figure it out. It's not as hard as it first seems either. But, as always, thank you so much for watching, and please join me again next time. Until then, bye!